did he wind up throwing for a game to be lost that way? And for offensive opportunities to not be cashed in. I mean, think about it. You've got 8-9 that set the table for you in the 7th inning. Bart draws the walk. Williams gets the single, even though he couldn't get a bunt down on 2 pitches prior to that, but it actually turned out to work out for Pittsburgh in that situation. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. 7th inning, your lineup card flips over. I don't know what Kutch was trying to do, clearly trying to push the ball to the right side. In the 7th inning, but just 3 awkward-looking swings. That was, of all the good at-bats that I think that he's had over this homestand, the 7th inning by far and away was not one of those. Reynolds, the lazy fly to left, and then Cruz popping up. I'm not going to zero in on O'Neal Cruz because he's been far more of a solution than he has been an issue. But, I mean, between those 3 guys, a 15-year veteran, a $100 million man, and a stat-cast unicorn, you would like to think that you can push across or run home and then get something. Like what happened there in the 7th inning, and then let's get into the 9th, right, Chuck? Base hit by Taylor, or rather Bart, and then you got the bases loaded and 1 out, and you're hitting comebackers to the mound up the end of the bat, and then popping the ball up on 3-1.
Perhaps your best player, Brian Reynolds. Dan, it's I just knew when we didn't win the game bottom of the 9th, we were going to lose because you don't have the table set any better for you than the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah.
And you've got to win it there.
Yep.
And if you didn't, then I just knew that one way or the other we were going to lose it. And it's just, as I said the other night, there's another thing, too. If Milwaukee and the Cubs are in the Pirates' head that they can't beat them, that's a tough psychological thing to overcome. And we're going on the road to Milwaukee and to Wrigley Field. And if we didn't beat them here, I really don't like our chances. I mean, anything can happen, but I don't like our chances of beating them there, particularly after the way we lost today's game and the 2 against Milwaukee.
All right, Chuck, thank you. Appreciate it. Hard to argue, as usual, so I won't. 5-17 Pirates in their last 22 games against the Cubs. Stay with us. We'll take your phone calls when we come back on this Mother's Day. It's a 10-inning loss. Pirates fall to the Cubs 5-4, dropping 2 of 3 to Chicago. Bucks are just 1-6-3 in their last 10 series. It's our post-game show brought to you by Mount Pleasant Window and Remodeling. We've got a few folks to get to, and coming up in just a moment, we've got Daryl in California, Steve in Swissville, Jake, Brentwood, Dave in Washington, all on the line. Do stay with us on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, the PM team, presented by Mike's Beer Bar.
Aren't you hear you saying the things you're saying and have it hit them right to the core because you actually put your money where your mouth is? Can you just imagine the 2 of them breaking bread and making peace and what they would each wear to such a thing? Art's got like a sweater vest and Donnie has a Bill Goldberg t-shirt on. Gym shorts. It's like 35 degrees and windy out. They're at the Duquesne Club and Donnie shows up in gym shorts and a shirt that just says college on it.
The PM team at 2 p.m. live and local, just like Mike's.
If you're facing $10,000, $20,000, even $30,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, stop struggling to stay afloat and call Accredited Debt Relief today for faster relief. Depending on your financial situation, you may qualify for a 40% or higher reduction in your monthly payments and only have to make one consolidated monthly payment you can afford. Accredited Debt Relief has helped over 300,000 qualified consumers pay off over $1 billion in debt, earning them an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. This is the light at the end of the debt tunnel to become debt-free. So make the call to Accredited Debt Relief now and see how much you can save. There's no obligation, so call now and get relief from your debt faster.
Call 888-794-4844, 888-794-4844. That's 888-794-4844.
Program and services not available in all states.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world. Turning to the best in the business for websites, go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey, Joe Montana here. Back in my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia.
Shedrovich and Fishman, Ireland Contracting, PNC Bank. See how PNC Bank can make a difference for you. And driven by number one Cochran. Go one better. Sports Radio 93.7, The Fan. Live from the ShoreKeyMitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. Now, back to the Mount Pleasant Window and Remodeling Reaction Show.
Falter ready in the 1-0. Swinging a fly ball hit well out to left and deep. Reynolds back, warning track, running out of room. It's a home run for Burrell. He's been on a hot streak, 6 home runs now in his last 13 games. And a 2-run shot here in the first inning puts Chicago up 2-0.
And Bailey Falter has given up 8 of his 20 earned runs in the first inning. After that, he's able to settle down nicely. A sub-3.8 earned run average in the second inning, a sub-2.5 earned run average in the third, a sub-3.8 ERA in the fourth. He's been a really nice fifth starter. And in just about every game, he's gone at least 5 innings. The exception, his very first start of the year. 6 innings, 2 runs. Pirates get another solid start. And they get good work out of the bullpen from Luis Ortiz with 2 scoreless, and they lose 5-4. 10 innings, 2 of 3 they drop to the Cubs. On this homestand, a homestand that I think they should have gone at least 6-3. You could maybe even say that they should have gone 7-2. They go 4-5. 1-6-3 in their last 10 series. 5-4, 10-inning loss. Pirates fall to the Cubs. Welcome back, PNC Park on a Mother's Day. Disappointing afternoon. Dan Zhang, really glad to be with you. And we've got a number of folks that want to weigh in on this, so let's get to it. All gentlemen on the line. So, gentlemen, I'll ask you to please save the pleasantries. Just get right to it and bring it. And make your point, starting with Daryl in California. Daryl, it's great to talk to you again.
It's great to talk to you. I'm not perfect. None of us are. And this is just my opinion. I watch the Pirates every day. And it's in my estimation that Derek Shelton's voice has fell on deaf ears. O'Neal Cruz is starting to show diva tendencies. I'm a fan. But whatever happened with him and Triolo at third base, where Triolo caught the ball, and I didn't know what was going on my TV, I let it go. But for O'Neal Cruz to be up at the plate, 3-1, bases loaded. This is about a wild pitcher. This is about Andy Haynes' offense is embarrassing. Nobody can collectively hit. And for him to swing the bat as if he's Barry Bonds going for RBIs and not the win, Dan, that turns me off. I don't know what a hitting coach has to do to get fired before 50 games, but if you want to find out, watch the 2024 Pirates. They're playing their ass off. This is just me again, Dan. There is no accountability. And McCutchen, you're in my Pirate Hall of Fame, but when it's time to play, you got to be serious. Quit smiling, joking all damn game, and then you get up there with 2 runners on, and you just have 3 of the worst swings I've ever seen. That's not leadership, and that's not veteran-like. This team needs a new coach. You can't get rid of all the players. And why we brought in Chapman, I have no idea. This thing is bad, and it's embarrassing, and I'm screaming on Mother's Day, and I hate it. Help me, Dan, please. I can't take it anymore.
I love you. I love you. Daryl? 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 Are you there? I love you, Daryl. I really do. I love you. Steve in Swissvale, you're on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for taking my call. That's hard to follow, but I have a question and a point to make. First, the question is, if I remember correctly, both Carlos Santana and Rowdy Tellez were available in the off-season. And since Santana was here last year and actually was pretty productive, I don't know why the Pirates chose Tellez over him or didn't go harder after him. He's having quite a decent year for Minnesota, and he liked it here apparently. That's puzzling to me. Maybe you have some insight into that. And secondly, Brian Reynolds is probably the Pirates' best player overall, but they have to get more offense from him. In the 7th and 9th inning, and especially in the 9th, I mean, he had to win that game there. I mean, that's him in that game. And that's very disappointing that he didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. On the Santana thing, you bring it up. I thought about it, when everything was going in the off season, and then the Pirates have a pretty long track record, at least under Ben Sherrington, of what they're going to do in the off season. They're going to go sign a soft tossing left-hander on a 1-year deal, and they're going to go sign a left-handed hitting first baseman on a 1-year contract, and usually, their waistline, be it Vogelback or G-Man Choi or whomever it may be, it seems to be an expansive one. But as far as Santana is concerned, everything that I was able to ascertain last year is that he meant quite a bit to the younger Latino players in that clubhouse, and he provided some really rock-solid leadership. And as far as Rowdy Tellez is concerned, he should have been DFA'd 10 days ago, and I don't think he should ever play another game for Pittsburgh. And I think nothing is more apparent and nothing is more of an indictment on the fact that in the 6th inning, on shallow fly balls to right, pop-ups essentially, that they would rather risk double play and tag up Connor Joe from third base, roll the dice, and try to score him on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Jared Triolo, as opposed to let the on-deck batter, which just so happened to be Rowdy Tellez, take his raps at the plate and try to drive in, at that point, would have been Joe or Sawinski. Well, wouldn't you know it, Tellez watches 2 pitches go by and then slams his helmet down after he looks at strike 3, in what was, as we've been accustomed to, very just useless at-bats that yield nothing in the way of productivity, even as outs. And this was on the heels the day before last when he wasted a leadoff double, could not advance a runner, is hitting the ball to the opposite field, a lazy fly ball to left, when all we really needed was just a ground ball pulled to the right side for Nick Gonzalez, who comes up the very next at bat and hits a fly ball to center. It cost the Pirates a run, and I think it cost the Pirates the game in the trajectory of how Friday night went in that 7-2 loss. So in hindsight, yeah, they should have brought Santana back. I agree, and I also agree with the fact that Brian Reynolds needs to come through. That is what he's paid to do in those situations. His bat-to-ball skills are pretty darn good, and he cannot be swinging at first pitch, bottom of the zone splitters and hitting little dribbler comebacks to the mound and potentially grounding into inning-ending double plays with the bases loaded. But thank goodness he was able to fight it out and at least get things to O'Neal Cruz, and we know how that went. In the ninth, he pops the ball up on, as Daryl did a nice job categorizing for us, a 3-1 pitch that otherwise should have been perhaps a bit more selective. So, yeah, there's still some growth with O'Neal Cruz. I'm not going to castigate O'Neal Cruz because he's the guy that's really carrying the Pirates right now offensively, the only one that's playing along with Connor Joe at a plus level at the moment. So I'm not gonna dunk on him, but there are always going to be, I think, especially with somebody that's not yet played a full baseball season. I think this was his 138th game. I'd have to look it up, if not 137. Anyway, he's basically a handful of games short of what otherwise would be a full big league season under his belt. And when you contextualize it that way, I think that would allow us to provide him a little more grace, because he comes up in 22, and he was on the roster last year. He's been around a while. He's been in quote unquote on the big league payroll for a long time, but as far as actual game experience that can be applicable here in assessing what kind of player he is at this level, I think he's still mostly ahead of schedule. Let's go to Jake in Brentwood after a frustrating 5-4 10-inning loss to the Cubs. Hey, Jake.
Oh man, another game where I'm just thinking, this is just reminding me of the Phillies a 2 years back. They had a slow start. Their bullpen was terrible. The offense was terrible. What did they do? They fired Joe Girardi. And what happened? As soon as they fired him, teams turned around. I mean, how much longer does it take until the Pirates get rid of him? Well, honestly, when do you think he gets fired?
I don't think he's going to, because they gave him a contract extension this time last year.
I mean, sometimes you get contracts and sometimes you suck, and you got to get it time to rip it up. He's trash.
Yeah, this is a year where, Jake, I mean, they're really going to be assessed, and I think they get a failing grade. I mean, I know that's not necessarily an A1 headline statement there, but you have given away so many. My job of falling, or my definition of falling short of your job and expectations.
You guys on this station always give Derek Shelton this. You guys give him a pass. Give him a pass. He sucks.
Will you let me finish? What I'm saying is the way that I assess a guy or anybody in their job is when they're supposed to do something and they don't do it, right? When something should go one way and it doesn't. This is that year. And there are a number of occasions where wins have been left on the table, whether that's a lack of execution or whether that's managerial malfeasance or a combination
okay, so you're
of
agreeing,
both.
so why can't they fire him now then? If you're agreeing it's not going how it's supposed to, fire him now.
Would you like me to walk down and fire him on your behalf? And
no,
say,
I'm just saying,
Derek, you're dismissed. Jake in Brentwood has asked me to fire you. I think that
nobody on your station's calling for it. You guys need to. You heard the fans. The fans want him gone.
I mean,
let's go. Yeah,
do you think we can recall him like the governor, Jake?
Did you have a couple cold ones before you got on the air?
No, but you've had more than your share. I think you've had mine and yours, it sounds like, Jake.
No, it's watching the Pirates that makes me dizzy.
Be well, my friend. Be well. Jake in Brentwood. Now to Washington. Dave, you're on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, Dan. Ronzi Contreras. I hope that Chapman doesn't, but if he has to go on the injured list, and I know that that's been set in motion with Contreras, and I realize, or I'm pretty sure potential's a 9-letter word. I think it is. But that worries me a little bit because I know how much he's struggled, but I still think he has some upside.